Hello and welcome to the second presentation in the stroke study. The topic for today is health beliefs. As you remember, the first presentation consisted of information about stroke awareness, like the definition of stroke, the symptoms of stroke, the risk factors of stroke, actions to take if stroke occurs. In this presentation, let's look at how health beliefs affect health behavior. By the end of this presentation, you will be able to identify principles or ideas that affect beliefs, identify the effects of health beliefs on behavior, and consider your personal health-related beliefs. Health beliefs are very important because they can affect our thoughts as well as our attitudes and behavior. To better understand the effect of health beliefs, let's look at them using what is called the health belief model. This is simply a set of 6 ideas that can help us to understand the effect that beliefs have on our behavior. First, let's name the 6 ideas. Then they will be briefly explained. Number 1, your belief about the risks. Number 2, the consideration of the seriousness and consequences. Number 3, that the beliefs are worth the sacrifice. Number 4, consideration of the barriers. 5, making the decision to act. 6, believing that you can. These are important ideas when thinking about why some make health changes and others don't. Let's look briefly at each of these ideas. Idea 1. What you believe about the risk of stroke will affect your attitude, thoughts, and behavior. For example, if you believe that suffering from a stroke is possible if you possess certain risk factors, you are more likely to make some decision or have some thoughts toward change. But if you believe that this information applies to others but not to you, then you're less likely to make decisions toward change. Idea 2. Here, one considers the seriousness and consequences of inaction before changes will be made. Idea 2 is related to Idea 1 in that if one does not believe in the seriousness of stroke or the consequences, changes in behavior are less likely. One may not believe that the symptoms of stroke are life-changing, or may not believe that serious consequences can occur if risk factors are ignored. Idea 3. With this idea, one must believe that there are benefits that come with changing life habits to prevent stroke. The consideration of the beliefs can help one to make the necessary sacrifices toward change. For instance, if one believes in the benefit of exercise, there may be more consideration about exercise and more willingness to change a schedule to accommodate exercise. This action may take place in small or large steps. Idea 4. deals with the barriers that must be considered and are likely to affect change. For example, one may ask this question: is maintaining an attractive hairstyle a barrier that could keep one from exercising or becoming more physically active? For some women, this can sometimes be a barrier. Another question: could the lack of funds keep one from joining a gym or taking a health class? This may also be a barrier in beliefs that could affect health behavior. One could also say, I can't afford organic or healthy foods, so I have to do the best I can. Another thought: I just don't have the time to exercise because of my family responsibilities. Do you see how what we may believe can become barriers and that these can affect our health behavior? Okay, let's move on to idea 5. Idea 5 refers to the decision to act. Health beliefs are very likely to determine the actions that are taken toward healthy living. Beliefs that don't support health change are likely to cause one to continue on a path that is less likely to promote healthy living. One who decides to act is more likely to take steps towards planning for the change that they want to see. Idea 6 suggests that believing that you can is a critical step towards change. Some beliefs may require much change and self-inspection. One would have to consider what she is willing to do and able to do. Support is always available for those who need and seek it. Sometimes the best way to get started is to work with others, and over a period of time, confidence increases as you move towards achieving your health goal. Now, let's look at some beliefs related to stroke prevention and determine which need to be altered. Think for a moment. Try to be honest. You may want to look at your patterns of behavior and think about the reasons for the behavior. Then examine your current beliefs. You may want to write down the beliefs that are related to your behavior. From the first and the current presentation, think about what you've already learned and think about the changes that would be beneficial for you to make. Carefully think about the plans that you can make to support positive change. Let's consider some health beliefs about a few topics. We'll start with obesity and being overweight. What do you believe about obesity or being overweight? Do you believe that it is healthy, or do you believe that it is unhealthy? Is it a current risk factor for you? If so, do you have plans to change it? Think about this for just a moment. Now, how about beliefs concerning food? Looking at the pictures here, consider what changes can be made in the light of stroke prevention. Now, take a few moments to name more foods that you believe fit in both unhealthy and healthy categories. Are any of these foods a part of your regular diet? Many have practiced unhealthy traditions through the years, and holiday times can be particularly difficult. What do you believe about some of your traditions? Do any of them warrant change? Are there changes that you're willing to make, be they small or large? Something to think about. Now, let's talk about appearance. Think a few moments about your responses to the following questions. What do you believe about your appearance, especially your hairstyle? Should it be, or is it an issue allowed to affect your participation in physical activity? Do you believe that you can be glamorous and healthy? This can be an important factor that can be allowed to turn one away from working out or becoming more active, as some are more concerned about hairstyle. Well, ladies, these are just a few thoughts to consider when we think about how what we believe can actually affect how we behave. I hope that you have benefited from the presentation today. Please feel free to think about the information presented here and share it with others. Stay tuned for the third presentation, where we will discuss living a healthier life. Thanks so much for your attention today, and have an awesome and blessed week.